Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another perfume review video. My name is Naz. This is my channel, the King of Hidden Gems. I try to bring to your attention fragrances are usually very good value for money. They smell good. They're usually under the radar. Not many people talk about them. I think at least you should do research time for yourself and see if they're any good to you. So in this video I have another update for you, and this is the niche perfume house from France, from south of France, from Grasse, and this is a very famous house which is owned by the same family for more than 150 years, and it's called Molinard. Molinard been around for more than 100 years in terms of perfumery. They are one of the three big perfume brands from Grasse, from south of France. One of them is Molinard, which is the oldest one. The other two is Fragonard, which is I think the second oldest, and Golinard, which is the newest company from that area. Grasse is very famous for perfumes, perfumery, for flowers, for cultivating flowers, and also perfume oils. And many people consider Grasse to be the birthplace of modern perfumery in France, especially in the world, and especially in France. So the House of Molinard are very influential because not only they make perfumes themselves and make perfume oils for other companies, they teach or they produce perfumers in the house as well. For example, one of the most famous perfumers from the House of Molinard, which was trained by Molinard, is Natalie Lawson. She doesn't need introduction, and she's very successful. She's very famous, and this is her route to Grasse. And the House of Molinard itself, they make very nice perfumes, especially for a price. But unfortunately, they don't get that much mentioned in the fragrance community. I'm not sure why is that is a reason for it. I don't know. But for me, I fall in love with this house when I bought my first perfume from them a few years ago, and it was like from then it was, that's it, I'm hooked. So I unboxed and reviewed a few of their fragrances before, and each time for the price I paid, it was very impressive in terms of quality, what I paid and what I got. In this one is the same story. This one in particular is called Molinard Cuir, and it says EDP 75ml, United Kingdom, retails for £100, but you can find a discounter here and then if you do your research. I paid less than that for it, and for the price I paid, this is a gorgeous fragrance. As the name suggests, cuir, which in French means leather, this is a leather-based fragrance, but this one is a quite, I won't say unique, but it's not following the trend in terms of the leather perfumes. This one came out 2015, so it has been around for more than 10 years now. And there's no perfumer for it mentioned, but whoever put this perfume together, perfumer or perfumers, they know what they're doing. Superbly good job in here, very well blended, very well put together. You can smell knowledge, you can smell know-how, you can smell people who put this together. They have experience in perfumery, and that shows in the quality of the perfume, of the smell, and how you feel when you wear this fragrance. So overall, this fragrance is very, very good quality, very high quality, especially for a price. In terms of presentation, their presentation are quite on the simple side. They are quite on the minimalistic side, but they are quite elegant in the same time. As you can see, the bottle is very nice. The box is quite nice. All their bottles lately are in this shape bottle. They used to have different shape bottles, but they made them uniform. So all their perfumes lately, especially for the last say 6-7 years or 10 years, it's been same shape bottle, which is this one. They're all 75ml, and they all obviously they retail differently from perfume to perfume, but they're all about £100 to £150 depending on the perfume. So In terms of longevity, it's not a super strong perfume, although for EDP it was okay, but on my skin went up to 6 hours. On t-shirt and materials goes up to 8 hours. So I was expecting a little bit more, because when you have a leather fragrance, leather based fragrance, you expect it to last longer. But it's okay. I mean, overall the performance was good, moderate to good. If you overspray it, it will go easily to up to 8 hours on the skin. I put 10 sprays of it, and that was ample enough for me to smell it all day. The next day I woke up, I could still smell it a little bit on the t-shirt, so it's not bad in terms of longevity. As I said, moderate to good. In terms of projection, similar story. I had an arm length of projection for about an hour, and after that slowly subside, but you just have a medium bubble, medium cloud, and a medium trail behind you. Again, if you want people to smell you from the other side of the road, you need to go maybe up to 14-15 sprays of it. So in terms of who is it for, this is definitely on the mature side. I would say at least 25 years and older, if not even older than that, because the smell of the DNA and the perfume in here is a little bit on the classical side, although it is modernized, but it's got like a 50% classical feel to it, 50% modernization. So if you like your classical fragrances, you will love this. Especially the leather in here is a soft leather, is a leather that it doesn't take over. These days with leather fragrances, when you smell them, there is no mistake that is a huge leather in here in the fragrances, but here is very subtle and is very understated, and is very way in the background, but you can feel it from time to time. Funny enough, the leather is a secondary player in here. The main players are the spices in here, so it's very aromatic, it's very spicy. The spices in here is saffron, nutmeg, and cinnamon. Although nutmeg is the strongest one, and then cinnamon, and then the saffron. Saffron in here is not a traditional saffron. Before I carry on with the smell of this fragrance, let me tell you the classification. This one is obviously a leather-based fragrance, and I classify it as Oriental spicy, aromatic spicy. So it's Oriental aromatic spicy, and also I classify it as semi-fresh to semi-dark. And also in terms of gender, this is bang in the middle, unisex. It is targeted unisex and it's correct. There is nothing in here to make it uber masculine. If you're a lady, you can easily wear it. Although it is very, very unisex to me, actually it leans a hint on the feminine side, because it's got a little bit of that body of florals in here as well. But let's say 50% feminine, 50% masculine. And in terms of occasion, this is very opulent, so it's very good for going out, special occasion, evening, close encounter, dating, clubbing. Although it doesn't have the oomph for the clubbing, but it is very quite subtle, but it is quite nice for clubbing as well. Special ceremony like wedding, so it's a very, very special fragrance for application like this. And also in terms of season, this is all year round. You can use it in summer and winter. It's got some freshness to it, you can use it in summer. There's got some depth and complexity to it, you can use it in winter. But if it's a very, very high heat in summer, it could be a little bit on the cloying side. So the smell, as I said, this is very aromatic and it's very spicy first and foremost, and then the leather is a secondary player. Let me read you the ingredients and we take it from there. So this is according to Fragrantica. We have on top we have nutmeg, lemon verbena, and bergamot. In the mid we have saffron, pepper, lavender, and lily. In the base we have leather, agarwood, amber, musk, sandalwood, and patchouli. Everything in here is there, and I smell them, but obviously some of them are bigger, some of them smaller. For example, the aromatics are much bigger, especially the first half-life of this fragrance. The aromatics are, and also the spices are the dominant player. So the aromatics is here is mainly the lavender, and the lavender in here is gorgeous. It's quite clean, but it's got a little bit of medicinal feel to it, little bit of that earthy feel to it as well. It's one of those lavender that when you smell it, if you know exactly what you're looking for, you know this is a French lavender unmistakably, because French lavender has got a particular character. Although I personally love lavenders, and I smelled many lavenders from many parts of the world, and they all share similarities, yes, but they have a different character. And here is a very, very French lavender, if you know what I'm saying. And it's got a little bit of pepperiness to it, which opens up and giving it a little bit of sparkly feel from the pepper. And the lemon and bergamot here give it a little bit of zestiness. The zestiness in here gets lost very quickly. I would say you won't smell the zestiness, and the citrus is more than maybe 15 minutes and it's gone. So they are there, but in the beginning, and later on they disappear. And then you are end up with massive spices and massive aromaticness. The spices are, as I said, nutmeg first, cinnamon second, and also a little bit of saffron. But saffron here is not a traditional saffron which is used in Middle Eastern fragrances. This is much more subtle in here. It's very, very subtle. The lily, to be honest with you, I don't get. Maybe a hint of lily in here, very small amount. Lily's got, again, very distinct. It's got a distinctive smell to it. Many people associate lily with a funeral, which understandable, because you know, especially in Western countries, they use lily for a funeral when they're going to the cemetery. So many people have association with lily as a cemetery, as a funeral, and it's a little bit on the negative side of things. So lily is not everybody's cup of tea because of that, because it evokes a sad memory rather than a happy memory. And that's why lily in here is much toned down. If it was a strong lily, it would have been a little bit too much for some people, I think. I have a very famous perfume here which is dominated by lily, and this is called this one is Donna Karan. What's the name of it? God, I forgot. Anyway, you know which one. Donna Karan Gold. And this is the EDP version. This one is dominated by lily. Lily in here is gorgeous, it's beautiful, but it's not everybody's cup of tea. For example, I love it myself, and my wife can't stand it. Every time I wear it, she said, you smell like something like I can't remember what she said, something like rotten banana, rotten something, you know what I mean. So she said you smell like a rotten fruits, something like that, which it could be evoking that kind of memory, because as I said, lily is associated in many countries with death, with funeral and cemeteries, and that's why it could be a negative memory evoker. I personally love this one, but again, the lily in this one is a little bit too much for majority of people. So in here, the lily is very subtle, so no worries about that. The base, we have leather. The leather in here, although it is named leather, which is cured, but the leather is very soft and is more like a suede, and also is way in the background, and is classical leather rather than modern leather, which is in your face. No, classical leather is very subtle, and here is very subtle. It says agarwood. To be honest with you, I get a woody aspect, definitely, like a cedar sandalwood combination, but I don't get agarwood per se, or traditional agarwood, or agarwood from Middle East, or from India, or from the Eastern countries. Maybe there's a agarwood in here mainly for supportive role, so it gives it a little bit of body, a little bit of that resin feel, a little bit of that warmth in the base. But you're not going to get agarwood per se, or animalicness, or anything of that sort. Amber, definitely there is a big amber in here. So amber is very sticky. Amber is a gooey amber, but in the same time is effervescent and is quite airy, so it's a middle of the road amber in here. And the musk overall is quite musky from beginning to end, but it's musk very clean again. And patchouli giving it a little of that depth and complexity. To be honest with you, patchouli is much stronger than the leather in the base, so the patchouli in here is much more noticeable, and you're giving it that complexity, a little bit of leafiness, a little bit of camphorous, and a little bit of that earthiness, and a little bit of balsamicness overall. So what to expect from this beautiful perfume overall? To recap quickly, it's got a fresh spiciness to it, which is coming from the pepper and also those beautiful aromatics, which is lavender mainly in here. The leather is very soft mainly in the background. In the dry down, it gets a little bit stronger, but it never goes too strong and very rugged or dark leather or anything like that. Warm spiciness, which is mainly come from nutmeg, cinnamon, and also a little bit of saffron in here. In here it says animalic. To be honest with you, I don't get animalicness in here or andolicness, but some people might perceive it. I don't know where they get that from, but to me this is it doesn't have animalicness at all. It's not even worth mentioning. The oud in here, as I said, is mainly supportive role in the background. Is giving a little bit more resin feel. Woodiness, definitely woody. So woody is a combination of cedar sandalwood, which are quite clean, but it is very noticeably woody. A little bit of powderiness, a little bit of dustiness, and a little bit of smokiness overall to it. Yeah, hint of those things, not too much. Everything in here is very subtle. And the amber, as I said, is a middle of the road amber. It's not effervescent, it's not very dark and sticky and gooey, so it is in the middle. And the musk is very clean and always there, and the citruses in the beginning are quite noticeable, but they down quite quickly. So if you like leather that is understated, is subtle, is sophisticated, is quite classy, quite elegant, yes, this is for you, especially for the price I paid for it. This is a bargain. If you are looking for some leather that is unmistakably leather fragrance, this is not the one, because as I said, it's very subtle in here. If you want huge leather, like maybe Tuscan leather, similar fragrances to that, this is not the one for you, because this is, as I said, very understated and subtle leather fragrance overall. The aromatics, the spices, and the patchouli are much bigger in here than the leather itself. But overall, I give it 2 thumbs up. I highly recommend it. I think this is a gorgeous fragrance, very well done, very well put together. It's gorgeous for people who like this kind of fragrances. And to me, this is a very well done, very well put together perfume. It's worth every penny. Okay guys, if you have it, if you know it, if you tried it, let us know your experience. That would be useful for others to read. If you like what I do, if you find it useful, informative, valuable, or entertaining, please don't forget to hit those buttons. This way you help me, encourage me, motivate me to bring you fragrances like this in future that nobody else is talking about. They're amazing value for money, they smell great, and they're hidden gems. This beauty is definitely a hidden gem. If you are interested in purchasing one of my own perfumes and support me that way and get something very beautiful in return, you could do that. My perfumes are bombastic, very big, very bold, very long lasting. They are ultra beast mode, and I put more than 60% pure perfume oils in my perfumes, which is unheard of, and that gives them the huge personality. Very big, very artistic and unique. They are like time capsule. They take a different place at different time, and they are super beautiful, if I say myself. Also, there are other reviewers reviewed my perfumes. If you are interested, you can go and check them out as well. As always, thank you very much for watching. Thank you very much for love and support, and I'll see you later. Bye.